And hello and welcome to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi, so glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup featuring the OC Halos, taking on, of course, the Inland Valley Pirates. We are getting a little bit of a late start as it's 11:04 right now. Obviously, the first pitch was supposed to be at 11, but just a little bit of a delay. The umpires are here, but they're not on the field yet. And also, there was a lot of field prep to do before this game because the baselines were very muddy down first base and third base and also behind home plate, and obviously the Pirates doing their best to get this field prepped and ready for this early 11 a.m. start time on a Sunday morning. Well, the Pirates have been off for a few days, not playing a game since last Wednesday. They were supposed to play a game on Thursday, but the game was canceled at the last moment by the Lancaster Rounders. So that was obviously a disappointment because it was another non-league game where a lot of players could have gotten some extra at-bats and really the pitchers as well, getting some extra innings. And that was actually a game that was, or a day that was originally supposed to be a doubleheader, and then it was changed to one game and then 0 games. So that's why there was a little bit of a little break, a little rest here for the Pirates. Maybe it's a little bit of a good thing for the pitchers, considering there's been a lot of games this season, a lot more than last year for the Pirates, who already have 22 wins on the season, 22-5, which is 10 more wins than last season's total at 12. So you look at the Pirates, and over the next couple of days, they have a chance to double that win total from last season. And that's not even thinking about what's to come, which would be the playoffs. And right now, we've said that 22-5 overall record, but 10-4 in league is in first right now, one game ahead of the Power. The Power are 8-3. So if the Power wins out, they will end up being the number 1 seed. Also, they have worked the tiebreaker so that the Power will be the number 1 seed if the teams finish with the same record in league play. So what the Pirates need right now is to win the final 2 games against Team San Diego on next Friday, which is here at Cal Poly Pomona. It'll be a 2 o'clock start doubleheader. We'll have both games on our air for you then. And also, they're going to need the Power to lose 2 games. They are playing 5 league games over the next 4 days. And it's possible, if you look at who they're playing, they are playing Team San Diego 3 of those games on Monday and Tuesday. So you figure that in a doubleheader in San Diego, you think that San Diego might be able to get one of those games against the Power. And then also, the Power play the Heat later tonight at 7 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, it's a big game for the Heat because that's a game that the Heat we're going to have to need to try to stay into playoff contention. And they will have their ace on the mound, Adam Quintana, who will be, I'm sure, the SCCBL pitcher of the week this week after pretty much shutting down the Power on Friday and recording the first ever victory for the Heat in their program against the Power. They were winless the previous 2 years, so they were 0-8 heading into that game. But Adam Quintana, we mentioned it, he was the SCCBL pitcher of the year a couple years ago, and he just locked them down. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens from here on, as there's lots of playoff battles coming in SCCBL league play. As we mentioned, this game is just about getting set to start here, a little bit late. Pirates are down the first base line in a little bit of a huddle as Charlie Reynoso is barking out the signals and talking about exactly what he wants to do here in this game against the SoCal Halos. Here, this is the starting lineup for the Halos. They will hit 12 people today, so a lot of batters for the Halos. And obviously in non-league games, you see that a lot here in summer collegiate baseball as the umpires are now walking in at 11:07. But here is the starting lineup for the Halos. It'll be Kyle Kasser at short, batting second, DJ Lewis in center. The number 3 hitter is Nick Grimes batting third. And then Jake Palchion, he's the catcher in the cleanup spot. Cody Powers batting fifth at second. Wyatt Hoppy is an extra hitter. Then we've got Mondesi Gutierrez, another extra hitter. Corey Gallegos, another extra hitter. And then you have Jake Hazard in the number 9 spot. He will be in left field. Dallas Siegel in right field is the number 10 hitter. The number 11 hitter is Trip Averts. He is the first baseman. And last but not least, another extra hitter in the form of Parker Manahan. So that is the 12 that will bat for the SoCal Halos. Meanwhile, for the Inland Valley Pirates, this is what their starting defense looks like as they are just about getting ready to take the field here at Cal Poly Pomona. Starting defense going left to right across the outfield. We'll have Jake Bernardi, Nathan Virgin, Bryce Cherry, Then left to right across the infield is Anthony Virgin, Greg Espinosa, Fernando Escobar, and Andrew Alvarez behind the plate. Catching is Dylan Lowenstein. And on the mound, the big right-handed pitcher, Kevin Glom from Loyola Marymount, will be the starter for this game. It'll be interesting to see exactly how they manage the pitchers today for the Pirates, because there are a lot of pitchers here. There's about 6 or 7 pitchers here for this game. So I'm wondering if we'll see kind of a bunch of guys get an inning or two of work here and there. But Kevin Glom, he hasn't been here for a while, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs in this game. Obviously, normally a very good pitcher for the Pirates. So far this season, 20 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 2.25 ERA, 1.30 whip. As the Pirates now take the field for the first time today here at Scalinos Field. And Kevin Glom will warm up that right arm. As we mentioned, Kevin Glom from Loyola Marymount, where he will be a senior next season. 6'5", 225-pound right-handed pitcher, just about getting ready to take his first pitches here and warm that arm up. But we do have a little bit of a conference, as always, behind home plate with the 2 managers and the 2 umpires as we're just about getting set for our first pitch here. We're going to be joined by Johnny Reynoso, one of the players on the Inland Valley Pirates right now, and we figure that maybe we'll be joined by a few guys throughout the day. We'll see what happens. Maybe Johnny will send somebody else here once he takes the field. But Johnny, first of all, welcome, and what's it like? This is going to be the first time ever you're on the mic.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty nervous right now because I've never done anything like this, but it's been pretty good so far this year. We've put together a lot of wins, and everybody's just having a really good time, and the team chemistry is amazing. You know, we're all just like a big family, and everybody's just having a great summer and enjoying it and relaxing and working hard and getting better.
Well, obviously, it has been a very, very good season so far. We were talking about at the beginning of our broadcast the fact that already you have 10 more wins this year than last year. Last year's total was 12. This year already at 22. And, you know, really, you're going to probably double the total if you look at how many games you have left. You have this game here today, a doubleheader on Friday against San Diego, and then another game on Wednesday against the Force. And then you head into the playoffs. So you look at that and you think, I mean, this is really a program that's going to probably double its win total.
Yeah, we've really improved a lot. We've got a lot better pitchers this year, and overall, just our bats are way better. Everybody's more comfortable in the league, and the pitching is not as much of a surprise as it was last year. Last year we were kind of caught off guard, and all coming from Legion Ball or Connie Mack, and most of us were really young. But this year we have a little bit more experience under the belt, and it shows. We're more comfortable at the plate, and we're having good at bats and just putting the barrel on the ball.
That's the name of the game. You got to put the barrel on the ball, especially with the wood bats. What is some of the difference between hitting with a wood bat as opposed to the BB core?
The BB core is not a good bat. The BB core has it's more forgiving than a wood bat, but the pop is close to none. And with a wood bat, if you catch it right, the ball's going to go. And unfortunately, though, they are less forgiving, so you break them sometimes. But that's why we have bomb bats.
Yeah. So it's funny that because obviously it used to be the aluminum bats used to be like you just hit them and they go anywhere and everywhere. And now it's almost like if you hit the ball in the sweet spot of a wood bat, it's better than using the BB core.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's why we've seen like the drastic power drop in numbers in pretty much all of college baseball and high school is because of these new bats. And but the wood bats are, I don't know, I personally prefer hitting with a wood bat. It sounds better and it feels better when you make solid contact.
We are underway as the first pitch missed low for ball 1, and then here's the second pitch, a comebacker right back at Glom and past his glove through the infield for a base hit. So first man is on base. That is Kyle Kasser with a line drive single up the middle as we are just about getting underway here in the top of the first inning. Pirates and Halos doing battle.
Had a little bit of water before the game started, and you see Fernando out there slipping around, trying to catch his footing behind second base out there.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that the field was almost basically flooded, which is interesting considering how hot it is here in Pomona. This one's swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line by DJ Lewis, the center fielder, and it's 0-1 to him. But it's something that you think, I mean, it's so hot. I mean, I know you're watering the field, obviously, to keep the grass in good condition and shape, but for it to be as soaked as it was before this game, we were just talking about all the field preparation before this game just to get ready for the 11th start. It was almost like a miracle, a small miracle, I guess.
Went through about 3 bags of quick dry in maybe like 20 minutes, and just trying to rake it around and get it going.
Here's the pitch. This one swung and fouled down the right field line, so that'll be strike 2, 0-2 the count here for Kevin Glom. Well, Kevin Glom, obviously a returning player here for the Pirates, one of 17, which is why I think you really feel like you're a team. I mean, some of the other teams out here you'll see, and they're kind of just a collection of players, but this is a true team, and especially, I mean, you talk about the 17 returning players, but also the 16 or 17 new guys as well have just come in and been, part of the team, and whether it be Andrew Alvarez or anybody on the bench. I mean, just talk about some of the newcomers for you guys.
Yeah, we got guys kind of like Andrew Alvarez, and he's just a real team player. And he comes in, he's an extremely nice guy, and he works hard. And it makes it a lot easier when you have new guys come in that are just good people all around, and they make the game fun, and they work hard and compete really hard. And everybody here wants to win, and that's the real name of the game is winning. And we're all about it. So yeah.
Off-speed pitches, misses high and inside for ball 1. 1-2 the count here for Kevin Glom. Glom checks the runner at first, comes set in the stretch, and fires. Breaking pitch low and away, ball 2. 2-2 the count here against DJ Lewis. First man reached base on a single up the middle. This is the second batter here in the top of the first inning. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play, along with Johnny Reynoso, who's joined me for color commentary. And a nice pickoff throw, but the runner at first had a really, really small lead and was able to get back to the base safely.
And there's that mud again coming up. We tried to quick dry it, but obviously he slipped and lost his footing still.
At that time, he kind of got caught off as he was kind of in between going towards, where he was going to lead off. And here's the ground ball, two-hopper over to the shortstop, Espinosa. Espinosa flips it to Escobar, and they turn 2. So 6-4-3 on that double play as Kevin Glom gets that ground ball into a double play. And sometimes you, as a pitcher, that's really what you want to do in that situation. A lot of guys want to get the strikeout, but if you get 2 outs on one swing, that's doing your job.
Yeah, that's definitely better. We always try and get double plays like when we get a chance to, because we know how big they are for momentum, and it just saved him pitches right there for sure.
First pitch is an off-speed pitch called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Nick Grimes, the third baseman, the number 3 hitter in the lineup for the Halos. Glom, another off-speed pitch on the inside corner called strike 2.
Looks like he's working backwards today.
A lot of the pitchers on the Pirates seem to do that. Here is the 0-2. Swung and bounced to the left side. It hits off the glove of Virgin, and that'll be an infield base hit for the Halos. Virgin was trying to make a diving catch at the hot corner.
That's a great play right there. Good effort. And that's the kind of thing that I was telling you about with a good team right there. They, everybody wants to win and they compete. And we're going to lay out for that ball all day.
Here's Jake Palchion, the catcher. He's the number 4 hitter, so the cleanup hitter in the lineup for the Halos. Both teams wearing red jerseys, so it almost looks like a little bit of the same here, although the team as this one swung and fouled straight back at the screen. Of course, the Pirates in their customary red shirt, black writing, and the red hat and black bill. Also white pants. Meanwhile, the Halos are actually wearing shirts that say Angels on them. And they are red shirts. They have a white trim down the left and right side. This one swung on and missed in the dirt. Kevin Glom, we said at the top of the broadcast, doing very well for the Pirates this season in 20 innings. 17 strikeouts, 2.25 ERA to go along with a 1.30 whip. He checks the runner at first, leg kick on the pitch. Check swing, foul down the first base line. So that'll be the second strike here to Jake Palchion.
It's early, but it looks like Glom's got his curveball working pretty good right now.
0-2 the count. He's coming with the off-speed pitches a lot in general. Let's see if he tries to throw some high heat here. No, another breaking pitch. This one misses low for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Sometimes, and you were talking about pitching backwards. I was just wondering maybe if he would go with the fastball there after you were talking about him throwing a couple curveballs and both of them were fouled, and then maybe just trying to change it up and get him to go at something out of the zone.
This team looks like pretty good hitters, so the fastball looks like they've been all over it so far. I think the way to get them out would be work backwards and get them out on their front foot and change the timing up.
This one misses low and away for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Or it's 3-2. I believe the umpire said 0-2 before the last one, and now he says 3-2, which I actually thought there was a ball beforehand. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled behind home plate. And out of play and into the adjacent parking lot, as some of the people here in the stands will await anxiously or nervously to see if that ball hits their car. Of course, another hot day here at Cal Poly Pomona. Another pickoff throw, not in time. Getting dirty is the runner at first, Nick Grimes.
I expect we'll be seeing a lot of pickoff attempts over at first base with that mud there.
Here's the pitch from Glom. The runner goes. This one's called strike 3 on the outside corner. Another nice off-speed pitch from Glom, and that is his first strikeout of the game. And at the end of 1/2 inning, it remains a scoreless tie between the Pirates and Halos at Scalinos Field. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the first inning. We'll get you the starting lineup for the Pirates as well as the defensive alignment for the Halos. Starting lineup is Greg Espinosa at short. He's batting first. And we've got Fernando Escobar at second, batting second. Andrew Alvarez, the number 3 hitter. Then is Cherry, Nathan Virgin, Jacob Bernardi, Anthony Virgin, Dylan Lowenstein, Jason Badlow, and last but not least, Channing Farella. First pitch is swung and fouled straight back at the screen by Greg Espinosa. 0-1 the count here for him. Meanwhile, in the field, this is what the defensive arrangement looks like for the Halos. It's Hazard, Lewis, and Siegel going left to right across the outfield. And here comes the 0-1. This one misses low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Left to right across the infield is Grimes, Kasser, Powers, Aversa, and Palchion is behind home plate. The starting pitcher is Nate Kachu. Left-handed pitcher for the Halos. Ground ball up the middle for Espinosa. Backhanded grab made, but he's not going to be able to make the throw in time, so that'll be an infield base hit for Greg Espinosa. So Powers doing a good job backhanding it and making sure that it didn't get into the outfield. But with the momentum carrying him to his right side and away from his throwing arm, I mean, that was a play that obviously you can't make against a speedy runner like Greg Espinosa.
Yeah, Greg's been seeing the ball well lately. His batting average is shot way up, and he's having a great summer. And if you're a lazy guy and you don't run the ball out when you hit a ground ball or something, you're not going to be safe on that, even on that tough of a play. But Greg really moves down the line, puts out a lot of effort.
First pitch called strike 1 to Escobar, 0-1 the count to him. And you talk about his batting average shooting up. It's at .351, and of course going 1 for 1, and it has gone higher now as we have a breaking pitch low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count here to Fernando Escobar. Escobar batting .300. So actually the runner on first is batting .300. The hitter batting .300, and the color commentator batting over .300.
Yep.
Speaking of averages shooting up, yours has been shooting up a lot too. I believe you're at .360 now, which is very impressive in this league.
Yeah, last year I didn't hit so well, and I think this year is a big difference.
Espinosa off with the pitch, sliding foot first and safe on a stolen base is number 4. And that's another thing, and you see him here at the top of the lineup. He's led the team in runs scored this season with 14, and actually it's the most ever, I guess, for a Pirate player because it's the most for this year or last year. And obviously that's a big reason why he's in the leadoff spot here today. So a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the first inning with no outs for the Pirates. This one misses high and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count here for Escobar. Escobar, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators for the Pirates.
I think he's sitting for a fastball right here on a 2-1 count.
See if he sits dead red. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball grounded to the right side. It moves the runner over to third, but Escobar will be thrown out by the second baseman Powers at first. So it's a productive out there for the Pirates.
Yeah, very unselfish, and we got a bunch of guys like that too. Really appreciate the doing whatever it takes to hit the ball to the right side right there.
That's something that the Buccaneers have really struggled with. The other team here in Inland Valley, and that called Scalinos Field their home as Andrew Alvarez comes to the plate. So always a little play like that. It won't show up in the box score. Line drive, foul down the right field line, 0-1 the count to Alvarez. But it gets the job done in the sense that you have a runner in scoring position with no outs, and in that scenario, you can end up scoring that run without even getting a hit. You get the ground ball to the right side, and now Alvarez, your number 3 hitter, if he gets a sac fly, you score a run.
Yeah, you can even do it with a ground ball at the middle with these guys playing back too. So there's really a variety of ways you can score right here.
High and away, ball 1, 1-1 the count here to Alvarez. You're right. I mean, you could just hit a ground ball to the second baseman or shortstop. They are playing normal depth. Everybody is. The corners are not even in, as this one is swung and fouled out of play down the first base line. And it's now 1-2 here to Andrew Alvarez.
And if you saw his face right there, he knew he got a really good pitch to hit and just missed it. You know, that's the name of the game. Though you keep missing, you miss a really close pitch, and then you got to find a way to battle and get another one.
You look at Alvarez's stats, and obviously 378 on the season is very impressive. Here is the 1-2 breaking pitch in the dirt, and he holds up, and it's now 2-2. But you look at his batting average in league play, and it shoots up to 450, which is just ridiculous considering some of the talent in this league, some of the pitchers in this league. It tells you he's definitely a gamer. He gets ready for the big ones. Here's a 2-2, and this is hit off the edge of the bat, and it's going to stay in fair territory. A run's going to come home to score, and Alvarez almost beats it out, but it's called out at the last second by the umpire. So that'll be an RBI ground out down the first base line for Andrew Alvarez as his teammate from Orange Coast College comes home and scores, and it's 1-0 Pirates.
And just like you were saying earlier, scored without even getting a hit right there. Just a ground ball, advance him over.
It's called manufacturing runs, and that's something that I know the Pirates did a lot of last season as this pitch misses low for ball one. And when I say that, I mean obviously you guys are doing it this season too, but this season a little bit more power and a little bit better hitting as a team than last year.
Yeah, that comes with being comfortable up at the plate, you know, and now that we know that we got a solid team and we're comfortable in the league, you know.
Yep, and we mentioned that Fernando Escobar was one of 4 San Francisco State Gators. This is another one right here, Bryce Cherry, the left-handed hitter. The other 2 being Ryan Romero and Corey Davis. Swung and fouled out of play down the third base line by Bryce Cherry. Cherry batting .306 on the season, .390 on-base percentage, and 8 RBIs. That's among the most on the team. It's Christian Kelly that has 10, who is leading the team. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Two and 2 the count here for the left-handed hitter going against the southpaw pitcher from the Halos. 1-0 the score. This one's high and in. Ball 3. Full count to come for Bryce Cherry. Cherry's 6'1", 205 as he checks back at the home plate umpire to confirm that count, who says it is full. Here is the payoff pitch. Swan, and this is a high fly ball over towards the third base side. It's going to be foulable, but very playable for the third baseman Grimes, who makes the grab. And at the end of 1 full inning of play, the score is the Pirates 1 and the Halos 0. You're listening to Inland Valley Baseball on inlandvalleybaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the second inning. 1-0 score. Pirates on top of the Halos here at Scalinos Field. Kevin Glom remains on the mound for the Pirates. Fires high and in for ball 1 here to Cody Powers, the second baseman for the Halos. Kevin Glom, of course, we mentioned from Loyola Marymount as this fastball misses upstairs for ball 2, 2-0 the count. Following in his brother's footsteps, who went to Loyola Marymount before him, his brother Michael went there from 04 to 08. This one swung and lifted to deep left field, heading back towards the fence and the wall is Jacob Bernardi, who makes the over-the-shoulders catch about maybe 5 feet in front of that left field fence for the first out.
And that was a big-time rip right there. He got a good piece of that one.
Jacob Bernardi tracking it down. So many outfielders on this team. I mean, literally every single outfielder is just really speedy, first of all, and then secondly, just can read the ball off the bat to perfection. I mean, look at the guy in center field in Virgin. He's one of the better ones, and Nolan Henley as well. He runs down in pretty much anything and everything as this pitch misses low and away for ball 1 here to Wyatt Hoppy.
Yeah, I've been playing with Nate now for about 6 years, and ever since I've been playing with him, I've always known him as a great outfielder. He makes great reads and lays out for close balls and makes the plays. He's a playmaker out there for sure.
This one is fouled down the right field line by Hoppy. Well, we were talking about how Kevin Glom, really a great athletic family for Mr. Glom. This one's a fastball in the outside corner called strike 2. So the hitter is going to have to protect on a 2-strike count. But we're mentioning the fact that his brother played at Loyola Marymount for baseball. Also, his sister playing volleyball, as this one is swung on and fouled back at the screen at Loyola Marymount. She played there. And then her father, or his father, I should say, their father together, played at Santa Clara for basketball. So a D1 family, 4 Division I athletes in the family. Swung on and foul tipped. So he'll stay up in the batter's box while Wyatt Hoppy.
Yeah, you don't see that very often when you have all the whole family being Division I athletes. That's a pretty big feat. So the fact that they have 4 of them is pretty impressive.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. That is the second strikeout of the game for Kevin Glom, who kind of just brought the high heat on that last one. So 1 hit so far for the Halos. A couple strikeouts for Glom, who we haven't seen in a while, but I believe he just comes on weekends, if I'm right.
Yeah, he's working during the week, so.
Late kicking. Here's the pitch. Fastball, outside corner, called strike 1, and 0-1 the count to Mondesi Gutierrez. Mondesi is his first name. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, called strike 2, 0-2 the count. And that's another thing that we talk about, and particularly when Ryan Romero was pitching on Tuesday, I believe. Here's the 0-2. Breaking pitch swung off the edge of the bat. Charging is Espinosa and firing sidearm across the diamond for the out. And that'll be the 3rd out here in the 2nd inning.
It's a great play right there. Greg's looking good at shortstop today, too.
Yeah, he's always looking good at shortstop, particularly over the last week. He's made a lot of great plays. But I was just about to tell a little bit of a story about Ryan Romero and the fact that it seems like so often, particularly Ryan Romero, based on what we were talking about on Tuesday, but here for Kevin Glom, it's the same thing. And really, for any pitcher, it's the same thing. When you get ahead of a hitter, especially when you're ahead 0-2, it's so much harder to come up with a base hit in that at bat when you have all these waste pitches that you can make. Whereas when you fall behind 1-0, 2-0, then it's, the hitters can sit dead red on fastball and take advantage of that. And it's something for me, just watching, especially Ryan Romero pitch, but once again, anybody. When he gets ahead, he is really hard to hit. But when he falls behind, that's when he falls in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and it gets pretty tough sometimes if you're behind, 2-0, 1-0 when you're pitching. From what I'm seeing is that, the confidence kind of shifts from the pitcher to the hitter, and the hitter gets a lot of confidence because he knows a fastball is coming. So, and if it's anything else, he's just taking, and he's just, letting it go. That's what they call it, dead red. Nothing else but a fastball. But it makes your whole approach a lot easier when all you got to do is sit on a fastball and just mash it when you get it.
What's your favorite pitch to hit in terms of count?
My count is I like a 1-0 hanging curveball.
Okay, so count and pitch.
Yeah.
And then what's the count? I mean, I probably would imagine a count that you probably dread is an 0-2 count, but.
Yeah, 0-2 or 1-2, you want to avoid those big time. But it's definitely, that's why, the guys that strike out a lot of hitters are so valuable, is that you're battling, you're getting ahead, and you're putting good pitches right around the corner but off the plate, enough to get some strikeouts, and you get a lot of over-aggressive hitters swinging.
Here comes Nathan Virgin to lead things off in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Halos. Dave Soberi alongside Johnny Reynoso for the play-by-play of this non-league game for the Pirates. Of course, Nathan Virgin has been another guy that's been on a tear offensively. Takes the first pitch for strike 1, 0-1 the count to Nathan. He's batting .318, .426 on base percentage, 5 runs and 5 RBIs on the season for the Pirates. This one swung and fouled straight back at the screen, right at me.
Almost hit the laptop.
Almost, but we have the fence here. Actually, a couple of years ago, the laptop was hit. It was knocked out of commission, but I finished the game like a pro. And this one is swung on and fouled out of play. We have this sturdy fence here at Cal Poly Pomona. Where we were at Agora High School, and it was a net. And I got there a little bit late for the game, I think. I think this was the scenario. I got there a little bit late, and I didn't even look or realize or notice that it was a net, as this one misses low for a ball. And sure enough, boom, straight in the back of the laptop.
Hey, adversity happens. You got to battle through, find a way to get it done.
Exactly. You have to overcome it even when you're a broadcaster.
That's right.
This one's swung on and lifted foul down the first base line.
It's a lifelong battle. It never ends.
Well, Nathan Virgin, you were mentioning in the last inning you've played with him for a long time. What impresses you most about him?
I think Nate's ability to line the ball up to the right side is very special. He's a great oppo hitter, and a lot of guys will see him, and he's got a little bit of size, big kid, and they think, all right, I'm going to pitch him outside because, he's probably going to want to pull it. But now he likes to go right center, and he drills the ball oppo, makes him a really tough out.
Mentioning the size, 6', 180. Swings and misses at this one, though, and that's strike 3. Down goes Virgin. As up comes Jacob Bernardi. Jacob Bernardi, one of 8 members of Cal Poly Pomona on this Pirate team. You know, he feels comfortable in that batter's box. This is his home field for the 6'2", 190 right-handed hitter. Line drive over to the right side, but straight at the first baseman, who goes down on a knee and makes the catch. That is a Versa. So 2 up and 2 down here for the Pirates in the bottom of the second inning. And here comes Anthony Virgin. Anthony Virgin, another 300 hitter on the season for the Pirates, 308 to be exact. But maybe what's more impressive is his on-base percentage. Here's the first pitch to him, and this one is bounced foul behind home plate, 0-1 the count. His on-base percentage is .440, so nearly reaching base 1 out of every 2 plate appearances is number 43. Anthony, the older brother by 11 months to Nathan, takes a low on an off-speed pitch, ball 1, 1-1 the count. I know the Virgin brothers take their working out regimen seriously. This one's swung on, and it's a high fly ball down the right field line. Charging out there is the right fielder Siegel, and he will camp underneath it and make the grab right near the foul line for the final out. So 3 up and 3 down here for the Pirates in the bottom of the second inning. And we will head to the top of the third in a 1-0 game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 3 we go in a 1-0 game. Pirates on top of the Halos. Welcome back. As this one is swung, 2-chopper over towards the third baseman, Anthony Virgin. He fields cleanly and fires across the diamond for the first out. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the third inning.
And as a pitcher, you just love those 1 pitch, 1 outs because saving you a lot of pitches. It makes the whole inning go by a little quicker and get back in that dugout and throw the jacket over the arm.
Kevin Glom is now retired 5 consecutive hitters for the Pirates. 2 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings pitched so far. Here is Jake Hazard, the left fielder for the Halos. First pitch, breaking pitch, called strike 1 at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, that's just dirty right now. That curveball's moving a lot.
His curveball is really that 12-6 variety. This one swung on and missed way out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he's really working ahead with that off-speed, and he's getting them way out on their front foot right now. They're looking pretty good.
So let's see if he tries to come with maybe high heat. And this one is swung and lined in left field. Coming in and now going back is Jacob Bernardi, but he'll make the catch for the second out here. And they always talk about the fact that when it gets hit pretty much on a line drive directly at you, that's always one of the harder ones to judge. Bernardi had to maybe travel a little bit to his right, but more or less it was kind of hit right at him.
Yeah, and we just saw 2 great pitches from Glom, and then we got an 0-2 elevated curveball, a little hanging right there. He just kind of got away with one, but still come away with an out. We take that all day.
Fastball check swing, ground ball to the right side over towards Escobar, and Escobar gets it to Alvarez for the final out. So a very, very quick half inning right there for the Pirates. And it remains 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Scores 1-0. Pirates on top of the Halos here at Cal Poly Pomona as Dylan Lowenstein, the catcher, comes up to the plate. 8, 9, and 10 in the lineup is where the Pirates are. That's Lowenstein, Padlo, and Varela. Still on the mound is Nate Kachu, the left-handed pitcher for the Halos. First pitch is swung and line foul down the first base line by Lowenstein. Lowenstein, of course, similar to Christian Kelly in the sense that he gets his job done behind home plate as the catcher defensively, not as much at the bat, but to say that he doesn't get it done. And this one is swung on line drive into right field, and coming in is the right fielder and making the catch for the first out by Siegel. And when I say that, I don't mean any disrespect to Christian Kelly, who's hitting very well this season, who's batting right around the 300 mark. And I know that's something that he said that really he was working on the stick, but in particular you think of, I know Dylan was struggling a bit with the bat, and with a 161 batting average, he was just hoping that pretty much anything close would be ruled a hit in that last game. This one is swung on and lifted into shallow left field. Charging in and making the catch is left fielder Hazard. So we are flying by here at Cal Poly Pomona. Very, very quick innings.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's a two first pitch swinging, right?
Yeah.
You know, we got And then, in the bottom or the top of the inning, we had 5-pitch innings, so it's moving pretty quick right now. And just slow the game down and start taking some pitches, working the count better.
And you're wondering if that's maybe exactly what your dad, Charlie, the manager, is saying right now to Channing Varela. Normally when you see a 2-pitch inning, 2 pitches, 2 outs, you tell the hitter to just take a pitch and make sure that you see at least 4 pitches in this inning.
And you can be almost positive he's going to throw a fastball right down the middle on this one.
Channing Varela is hitting .265 on the season. He's coming on strong as well lately. Swan, and this one is fouled down the first base line, so he's also first pitch swinging.
My dad must have told him that he's going to throw you a fastball right down the middle, so go ahead and take a hack.
Here comes the 0-1. Swan lined in the center field. Good contact, but directly at the center fielder, Lewis, who makes the catch. So now we have a 5-pitch inning and then a 4-pitch inning.
This game's really moving pretty quickly right here.
So 9 total pitches in the 3rd inning, and we'll head to the top of the 4th in a 1-0 game. Pirates leading. To the top of 4 we go in a 1-0 game. Pirates leading the Halos. We have a new pitcher, and that is Ryan Romero. Fires a fastball swung and fouled out of play behind home plate for strike 1 by Trip Averts, the first baseman for the Halos. So we can close the book on Kevin Glom, who had a very successful start in 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, as this one is swung on and missed, 0-2 the count. Tired of the last 7 hitters he faced.
He was working ahead in the count and got a lot of first pitch swings and a lot of outs.
Here's the 0-2 from Romero. Fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner. And so 1 hitter and 1 strikeout for Romero. And I was actually mentioning that earlier in the game when Glom was in. When he gets ahead of the hitters, he's very tough to face.
Yeah, and you see it right there, 0-2, and then he comes back with that really nice 2-seam fastball off the outside part of the plate. It's tough to swing at, tough to hit.
Here's Parker Manahan, the number 12 hitter in the lineup. Called strike 0-1 the count to him. And so once you get past Manahan, it's back to the top of the lineup here for the Halos. They're hitting 12 in this game. Fastball swung and fouled out of play to the left side, and it's 0-2. So once again, Romero getting ahead of the hitter. Ryan Romero, one of the few guys not from Southern California.
Yeah, he's up the Bay Area.
Well, he plays at San Francisco State, but he's originally from Idaho, Nampa, Idaho.
That's right. He did high school out there and then went to Fullerton Junior College.
Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 2-2 the count. And at Fullerton Junior College, he was part of a state junior college runner-up team that I believe his teammate, yes, I know, his teammate Fernando Escobar was on that team as well at Fullerton. Ground ball left side, 2-hopper to Virgin. Virgin showing nice hands and making the throw. High throw, though, overshoots Alvarez. And that very well may be the first error that Anthony Virgin has had all season. So the runner is on base in the form of an error by the third baseman. I think Virgin thought maybe that he had less time than he did. He just tried to throw it really hard. That's why the ball kind of sailed on him.
Yeah, those hops were a little slow, and then I know, speaking from experience, I play at third base, so I know that he did a good job of staying in front of the ball because it's kind of tailing down the line a little bit, but he got in front of it and squared up on it. And then, maybe a little bit of a panic to throw it over, but it was a good effort nonetheless. Sometimes you throw it away. It happens.
Back to the top of the lineup, and here's Kyle Kasser. He is 1 for 1 with a single up the middle, and he takes the low for ball 1-0 the count here. With the runner on first base, that is Parker Manahan, who just reached on the error. So 1 out, 1 man on, and the number 1 hitter up here for the Halos. Pickoff throw, not in time for Romero. So often you're just kind of throwing pickoff throws to keep the runner honest and just keep him on his toes and make sure he's paying attention. It's not necessarily an easy thing to pick a guy off as he goes once again over there to first base.
Yeah, another thing, too, is you want to switch up the timing because if the runner at first if you're doing the same set and hold every time, they can time you and then take off and you have a huge jump. But looks like he's picking over there to change his timing up, and if he comes set and holds at 1 second and then pitches, and then he comes set and then picks at 1 second, then the runner doesn't know if he's picking or going to the plate. So it's a little bit of a hesitation on the commitment to steal.
Here's the pitch from Romero. This one misses outside for a ball. Ryan Romero, previously before today, 25 and a third innings pitched. A 1.42 ERA, 0.83 WHIP. So he's been under the radar, but he's been doing really well statistically this season for the Pirates. Called strike.
Yeah, Ryan's been a competitor for us all year. He works down in the zone, like you said, works ahead, and he's not overpowering with any of his stuff, but he locates, and that's the most important part about pitching is locating hidden spots.
We talked about all his stats. Also 3-0. Runner's off with the pitch. This one's called a strike on the outside corner. Throw down to second base, and he is out. What? He's called safe. Wow. I mean, the runner stayed on his feet and then basically did almost like a football juke move, I guess you would say, and somehow made it past Espinosa and into second base safely.
That was one of the weirder, harder to describe plays in one of these games.
Wow. I can't believe they didn't apply the tag there, and it's a full count now here to the hitter. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes the second strikeout victim of the inning for Romero, both of the looking variety. So that's the second out here in the top of the fourth inning. There is a runner in scoring position in the form of Manahan. Well, you credit with a stolen base, a very interesting stolen base at that, though.
Yeah.
And here comes DJ Lewis. Lewis is 0 for 1, grounded out into a double play back in the first inning. Ryan Romero coming in the fourth inning. Might be the pitcher of record if he stays in for one more inning, as this one sails high for ball 1. 1-0 the count here. And he is 3-0 on the season, so if he gets another win at 4-0, he would be the second most wins. I believe he actually is the second most wins right now. He's tied for the second most wins on the team. But get another win, he would be 4-0. This one is lined into left center field, and that's going to be a base hit, and in comes a run to score as it's now 1-1. The throw coming to second, and it was not in time, so that'll be a sliding double over there for DJ Lewis, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, we can see a missed location right there. Fastball elevated, and he definitely did not miss that one. Those are the tough ones you can't miss up there because it's a good team's going to make you pay for it.
Well, it's also tough because of what happened at second base before that, in the sense that, I mean, the throw from Lowenstein was there well before the runner was sliding, but actually he didn't even slide. He stayed up on his feet and somehow made it to second base safely. Here is Nick Grimes. He's 1 for 1. Number 3 hitter in the lineup. Takes high and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count for Ryan Romero. So it's a brand new baseball game. 1-1 the score between the Halos and Pirates. This one's called a strike, and it's a 1-1 here for Ryan Romero. 6'5", 190, right-handed pitcher from San Francisco State. He was the 4A Southern Idaho Player of the Year in high school. Breaking pitch low and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. For the Pirates, it's interesting right now because it was 1-0 and it felt like you were in good shape, but all of a sudden it's tied. 1-1 the score. Fastball swung on a miss. Strike 2 here. But just still the fourth inning. Plenty of at-bats to come for the Pirates.
I think one of our keys offensively is that we don't really panic. It can be pretty late in the game still, and still down a few runs, and we don't really panic. We just kind of focus and try and put the barrel on the ball and keep making things happen.
Ground ball up the middle. Greg Espinosa catches it right behind second base and fires the first to get that final out of the inning. The runner was off on the pitch as well, and if that had gotten through the infield, that would have been a 2-1 game. But obviously, Espinosa showing off that great range and making the play. And so that'll do it here for the top of the fourth inning. And we will head to the bottom of the fourth in a 1-0 game, a 1-1 game, I should say, as the Halos have tied it against the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 4 we go in a 1-1 game. Pirates tied with the Halos. Johnny Reynoso has headed back to the first base dugout where he will get ready to get some at-bats and get in the field coming up in the next couple innings. Meanwhile, the Pirates will send out the top of the lineup here. And Greg Espinosa, Fernando Escobar, and Andrew Alvarez in this bottom of the fourth inning. First pitch fastball low and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count to Greg. Greg is 1 for 1. Stole a base and scored a run, the only run of the game for the Pirates. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-0 the count for Espinosa. Well, we talked about Espinosa when he was up in the first inning and how he is leading the team in runs scored, obviously increasing that number to 15 on the season. Also coming into today, batting .351. Looks at this one on the outside corner, and it's called a strike. 2-1 the count here to Greg Espinosa. Espinosa, a member of the Orange Coast College State Championship team this past season with his buddy Andrew Alvarez. Bounces this one to the right side and just foul. 2-2 the count to Espinosa. Greg is 5'10", 165. Mentioned the state championship at OCC. He's also heading to Houston Baptist with Andrew Alvarez next season as well. This is a big inning for the Pirates at the top of the lineup and a tied game. Here's the 2-2. Swung and bounced to the left side. This is going to be trouble for the third baseman, who fields it with his bare hand and tries to sling it sidearm, but Espinosa will beat it out for an infield base hit. And the leadoff man is on board here in the fourth inning for the Pirates. So Espinosa improves to 2 for 2 on the day, and up comes Fernando Escobar. Escobar 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman, so his counterpart for this game. Of course, we see Escobar normally at shortstop, but obviously as a middle infielder, you can play both positions there. This one misses high and tight for ball 1. 1-0 the count to the 5'10", 165-pound right-handed hitter. Actually, Escobar is a switch hitter. Here's the pitch. And no, actually going to first base is the pitcher. Escobar on the season batting .300, .364 on-base percentage, 8 runs scored, and 6 RBIs. Swings on this one. It's a fly ball over to the right side. Will it go over the head of the second baseman? No. Second baseman covers a lot of ground out there at his powers and makes the catch over his head to retire Escobar. So that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And here comes Andrew Alvarez, who had the RBI ground out in the first inning that scored Greg Espinosa. Alvarez, of course, the SCCBL pitcher of the month. This one is swung on, fly ball to the right field and straight at the right fielder. So 1 pitch and 1 out here for Alvarez, as that'll be the second out of the inning. And up comes the cleanup hitter, Bryce Cherry. Well, we talked about it in the previous couple innings. This game has been going by very quickly in the sense that lots of hitters swinging at first pitches and putting them in play. Not necessarily for hits, but just in play, and then they're outs. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 1 by Bryce Cherry. 0-1 the count to Bryce. Bryce is 0 for 1 in the game. Flew out to the third baseman. 6'1", 205-pound left-handed hitter. Espinosa's off with the pitch. The throw down to second base is in time. It got him, and it looked like that was supposed to be a hit and run. I'm not sure, but normally when a runner looks back at home plate, he's looking back because he's trying to see if the ball is going to be hit, as Charlie Reynoso will come over to Cherry and probably say, you missed the sign. And so he left Espinosa out to dry over there at second base as he's caught stealing. That will do it for the fourth inning. And at the end of 4 innings of play, it remains a 1-1 game. Pirates and Halos doing battle here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the top of the fifth inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup for the Halos. That is Palchion, Powers, and Hoppy. Palchion is 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. First pitch called strike 1 from Ryan Romero, and it's 0-1 for the right-handed pitcher, the Gator from San Francisco State. This one misses high and inside for ball 1. 1-1 the count here for Romero. Ryan Romero fires the 1-1, and this one is lifted into shallow left field. Charging in and not being able to make the play is Bernardi as it bounces on the one hop to him, and that'll be a bloop single for the catcher, Palchion. And the leadoff man is on base here in the top of the fifth inning for the Halos. Here comes Cody Powers. He is 0 for 1, flew out to left field. We talked about Ryan Romero in the last inning, kind of going under the radar, as doing a really good job for the Pirates this season, 3-0 record, and the microscopic ERA. But he did give up a run in that inning. Towering fly ball to shallow left center field. Charging in and making the catch is Nathan Virgin for the first out here in the 5th inning. Still all the same players in that started the game. As we look in summer collegiate baseball, around the 5th or 6th inning is the mark where you start seeing a bunch of changes. So maybe we'll start seeing a bunch of changes in the next inning. Pick off throw over to first, not in time. At bat now is Wyatt Hoppy. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch, and this one misses high for ball 1, 1-0 the count. This past season for San Francisco State, Ryan Romero pitched 51 innings for the Gators, so a lot of innings for them. As this one misses low, and it looked like he didn't like that last pitch. He kind of shook his head after he threw it. Another pickoff throw to first base, not in time. The runner on first is Palchion, the catcher, and he has a very small lead, to say the least. Fastball high, ball 2 for Romero. This, of course, is a non-league game for the Pirates, as Romero has fallen behind 3-0. Fastball swung in line straight at the third baseman, and he's going to double up the runner at first. What a reflex play out there at the hot corner by Anthony Virgin, who has the awareness and wherewithal to also see the guy off at first base, Palchion, and double him up as well. So that'll be a 5-3 double play, and that will end the inning here for the Halos, as we will head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 the score, Pirates and Halos. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning in a 1-1 game. It's the Pirates and Halos. I'm Dave Soberai. So glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup, as Bryce Cherry, the cleanup hitter, will come up at bat here in the 5th inning. If you remember, back in the 4th inning, he was at bat when Greg Espinosa was caught stealing at second base, but it looked like on that play it was supposed to be a hit and run. First pitch is swung and lifted foul out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count here to Bryce Cherry. And I'm almost, I would say 99% sure that was the case in the scenario, because Charlie met Bryce Cherry at home plate after Greg was left out there to be thrown out at second base. This one misses low and away. Ball 1, 1-1 the count here to Cherry. Bryce Cherry is 0 for 1, flew out to the third baseman. Left-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher. Here's the 1-1, swung on and missed, and that is strike 2. So Cherry falls behind, 1-2 the count here. On deck is Nathan Virgin and Jacob Bernardi in the hole. Here's the 1-2. And breaking pitch in the dirt, and the home plate umpire says, yes, you did go. And the throw will be made down to first to complete that strikeout, as Cherry is now 0 for 2 on the day. And here comes Nathan Virgin. So 1 away in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 the score. Pitchers duel ensuing between the Halos and Pirates. For the Pirates, it's been 2 pitchers so far, as this one was swung on a missed fastball. 0-1 the count here for Nathan Virgin. It was Kevin Glom who went 3 innings and allowed no runs, 2 strikeouts, and actually retired the final 7 hitters he faced. This one's off-speed pitch low and away, ball 1, 1-1 the count. And then Ryan Romero came in the 4th, and he allowed the 1 run in those 2 innings that he's pitched so far. Swung on and missed, strike 2. 1-2 the count here for Nathan Virgin. Nathan Virgin heading to Cal State Monterey Bay next season, where he will be a junior. Late kick, and here's the pitch. This one is swung and fouled out of play behind home plate and really towards the first base side. Before going to Cal State Monterey Bay, Nathan Virgin making his presence felt at Citrus College. A lot of players in the Inland Valley Baseball Association either currently play for Citrus College or previously played there for the Owls. This one is swung and fouled out of play once again behind home plate and over towards the adjacent parking lot. At Citrus College, Nathan Virgin put up very, very good numbers. .350 batting average his sophomore year. .446 on-base percentage, and was a second-team all-conference performer. Here's the two-strike pitch, and this one is a 56-footer in the dirt. Barely made it to the dirt. Almost bouncing in the infield grass. Good job by the catcher to block that baseball. Of course, nobody's on base, so even if he didn't block it, it wouldn't really matter there, but still playing fundamental baseball and showing exactly what you're supposed to do as a catcher. 2-2 the count here for Nathan Virgin. He's 0 for 1, struck out back in the second inning. Here is the 2-2. Fastball low, ball 3, full count. We talked about Nathan, and this is something that he seems to do a lot, that it's extend counts, has a very good understanding of the strike zone, very disciplined at the plate. Here comes the 3-2, and this one misses outside for ball 4. So in cue, Virgin draws a walk and reaches safely here for the Pirates in the bottom of the 5th inning, so that'll be the first runner with 1 out here. And Nathan Virgin just continues to improve on that on-base percentage, which we mentioned in his previous at-bat was .426, so obviously now it has gone up. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time. Here is Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi is 0 for 1, lined out to the first baseman back in the second inning. Jacob is 6'2", 190. Takes fastball inside, strike 1, 0-1 the count here. Major is business administration here at Cal Poly Pomona. Number 14 hoping to go about his business here and start a rally for the Pirates. On deck is Anthony Virgin, as this breaking pitch misses in the dirt for a ball. So Nathan on first, Anthony on deck, and Bernardi is at bat right now. .245 batting average on the season, 7 runs scored, 6 RBIs for the Pirates. Runners off with the pitch. This one's swung, a line drive up the middle, and Virgin will be safe at second. The shortstop will throw to first and record the out. Actually, the fact that the runner was off with the pitch and Nathan Virgin actually helped out the Halos a bit, because the shortstop looked like he was the one that was basically going to second base to cover. So he was already moving up the middle, which is where the ball was hit, and then makes the throw across the diamond, does Kasser for the second out here. So Bernardi is retired. Nathan Virgin now in scoring position with his brother Anthony at plate. Charlie Reynoso met him about halfway in between third base and home plate for a little meeting about maybe exactly what he wants done here. Obviously, if the Nathan Virgin and Anthony Virgin could just trade places, the Virgin brothers could trade places, that would be a go-ahead run for the Pirates, as this fastball misses high and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Anthony. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to the right fielder back in the second inning. Chu checks the runner at second, fires home, outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Really, we were talking about the on-base percentage of Anthony's brother Nathan at .426. Well, Anthony's on-base percentage is even higher at .440. Here's the 2-ball strike, low for another ball here to Anthony Virgin. So on deck is Dylan Lowenstein. Should Anthony draw a walk in this situation? Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. Anthony Virgin is 6'0", 200 pounds. He will play at Citrus College as a sophomore next season. Here's the pitch. Swung on, towering fly ball to deep left field. Going back is the left fielder to track to the wall. And that one is gone. Home run for Anthony Virgin as Nathan comes home to score. And that is a 2-run dinger with both Virgin brothers involved as he gets a high five from Charlie Reynoso. And that was a no-doubter, fly ball, majestic fly out to left center field as the entire bench comes to congratulate number 43, Anthony. So Anthony Virgin taking advantage of the hitter's pitch to the max, that 3-1 count where you always say that you can sit dead red on fastball, and that's exactly what he did there. And that was just, as we mentioned, a towering, majestic fly ball out of here. And to clear the fence out here in Cal Poly Pomona is no easy feat, as that is only the 4th home run hit in total between any of the Pirates and Bucks games this season. And it's now 3-1, Pirates on top. This pitch is lifted out into right field and foul and out of play by Dylan Lowenstein, and it's 0-1 to him. So Anthony Virgin with the big hit so far, giving the Pirates the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This one misses low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count to Dylan Lowenstein. Lowenstein plays for Mount Sac, not too far here from here, maybe about a mile down the road in Walnut, as this one is swung and fouled out of play. 1-2 the count to Dylan Lowenstein. We were talking about it earlier. Lowenstein, a very, very sound and solid defensive catcher. Hoping to improve a little bit with the stick, though. Only batting .161 on the season. Here's the pitch from the southpaw. The 1-2. Swung and bounced to the left side over towards the third baseman, deep in the hole. Ranges Grimes, and he fires to first, not in time. In fact, it was actually low, and it's a throwing error that gets by the first baseman and into the dugout. So Lowenstein will be able to advance all the way to second base. And so now the Pirates have another man in scoring position. And Jason Badlow at the dish. So all of a sudden, Pirates jumping out to that 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bryce Cherry started the inning off with a strikeout. Then Nathan Virgin was walked. Jacob Bernardi grounded out to the shortstop, as this one is swung and fouled straight back by Padlow. 0-1 the count. So there was only a man on, and he was on second base, was Nathan Virgin with 2 outs. But Anthony Virgin was at the plate, and he blasts the home run out to left center field. And that's what makes it 3-1. The 1-strike pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. Before that, the Pirates scored the first run back in the 1st inning when Greg Espinosa scored on an RBI groundout by Andrew Alvarez. And then the Halos, they got their 1 run in the top of the 4th. Here's a pitch, swung on a miss, strike 2. Well, this is the same scenario as for Anthony Virgin, with the runner on second base and 2 outs. See if Jason Padlow can get into one. Although this situation is different in the sense that Padlow is behind the count, 1-2, as this one is in the dirt for ball 2. And Anthony was up 3-1 on the count. Jason Padlow, 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter. Another one of the 8 members of the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos that plays for the Pirates. Swung on and foul, tipped into the glove of the catcher, so that will be a strikeout for Padlow, and down he goes. But the damage was done here in the bottom of the 5th inning in the form of a 2-run home run by Anthony Virgin. And scoring also on the play was his brother Nathan. So a family affair on that home run, as it's 3-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And we'll head to the top of the 6th inning. 3-1 the score. Pirates leading after a 2-run home run by Anthony Virgin. Also scoring on the play was Nathan Virgin. So I mentioned it was a family affair of sorts for the Virgin family. We have a new pitcher. It's the southpaw Jack Johnson. First pitch he throws is swung and fouled out of play down the right field line by Mondesi Gutierrez. Gutierrez is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop. Jack Johnson fires outside, ball 1, 1-1 the count here. this season, a 2.57 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. That's in 21 innings pitched. But in those 21 innings pitched, here comes the pitch, and this one swung and fouled down the first base line, and it's 1-2 here. In those 21 innings pitched, I think the most impressive stat we could all agree on is the fact that he has struck out 30. So the southpaw is definitely a strikeout pitcher for the Pirates. He shakes off his catcher's signs and now nods in approval of what Lowenstein has come with. And, oh, slider just misses inside for a ball. Jack Johnson, 6'0", 190 from UC Riverside. Here's the pitch. And that's a hanging off-speed pitch for a ball. It's also away. Talk about this often, but it's worth noting. Here is the pitch from Johnson, and that one gets away from him as well. Fastball misses outside for ball 4. So the leadoff man is on base here in the form of a walk as Mondesi Gutierrez heads down to first base. Jack Johnson kind of stretching out his arm a little bit after missing on that fastball high and away. We also are going to have some replacements starting to come in here in the 6th inning. We'll get you exactly who's out here for the Pirates as this one misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Corey Gallegos. Gallegos is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the third baseman. At that point, it was Anthony Virgin. Now it is Johnny Reynoso. So Reynoso has come in for Virgin. Meanwhile, Channing Varela is at shortstop for Espinosa. Here's the pitch. High in sight, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Escobar still at second base. Alvarez still at first. Lowenstein still behind home plate. Meanwhile, in the outfield, the only one I know for sure, because it's hard to see because they're obviously far out there, is Nolan Henley is definitely in center field on for Nathan Virgin. I believe that's still Bryce Cherry and right, though. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. We were talking about how Ryan Romero went under the radar a bit this season when you look at his stats. Here's the 2-1 count for Jack Johnson. Johnson comes set at the hip and fires. Swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate, 2-2 the count. And once again, Ryan Romero, who went the 4th and 5th inning, is the pitcher of record right now after that home run in the bottom of the 5th. So should this result hold up, Ryan Romero will improve to 4-0. Which is very impressive. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Johnson. Slider that misses inside for ball 3. 3-2 the count. So another full count here for Jack Johnson as the first hitter, Mondesi Gutierrez, walked on a full count. Let's see what Jack has right here. Actually, he's going to throw over to first. And not in time. But we were starting to mention the fact that it's worth noting, and we'll mention it after this pitch on the full count pitch from Jack Johnson. Called strike 3, and down goes Gallegos, and that'll be the first out here in the 6th inning. And we mentioned that he is a strikeout pitcher, 30 strikeouts in 21 innings. So make that 31 strikeouts in 21 and a third now here for the Pirates of this season. But Jack Johnson, of course, if you had to guess his favorite players, being a left-handed pitcher, his favorite team is the Dodgers. So his favorite 2 players of all time are Kershaw and Koufax. Makes a lot of sense. Here comes Jake Hazard. Hazard's 0 for 1. Grounds this one on the right side over to Escobar. Escobar ranging deep in the hole. Nice 180 throw over to second base, and they get the lead runner. As Escobar covering a lot of ground, making a very slick throw over there to second base to get the force out there. And Channing Varela couldn't turn 2. Throw was in the dirt, but obviously it's not an error because you can never get an error on a double play unless, of course, the throwing error allows the runner to reach second base, which it didn't in this case. So 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning, 3-1 the score, Pirates leading. big, slow breaking pitch that just is outside for ball one. 1-0 the count here to Dallas Siegel. Siegel is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the second baseman. You talk about how important it is for your hands as a middle infielder and just kind of being so quick. And Espinosa and Escobar both are very, very good at that, as this one misses high for a ball. That was really a great play made by the second baseman, Fernando Escobar. Can't say enough about what he did on that play and how smooth it was. Just traveling to his left, making a spin move, and throwing back to second base, away from his motion. Encouragement from the first base coach saying you have to protect the plate, as this one comes inside for a strike. Wasn't quite sure why he said that, because it wasn't a two-strike count, but still, I guess you have to protect the plate nonetheless if anything's close. Pirates won't play again until Wednesday against the San Diego Force. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing, and yes, he did go, and that's strike two. San Diego Force will be joining the SCCBL next season. They'll be new to the league, and they're a really, really good team. Pirates actually split with them in a doubleheader earlier in the season. It was one of the first weeks of the season. Ground ball right side, foul by Dallas Siegel. So Siegel still down on a two-strike count against Jack Johnson. Johnson digging up that pitcher's mound and is now ready. Working out of the stretch and checking the runner at first. Very small lead over there. Time called for at home plate by Siegel. Runner at first is Jake Hazard. Hazard, of course, reaching on the fielder's choice when Fernando Escobar tossed it to Channing Varela to get the lead runner for the second out of the inning. Runner's off with the pitch. This one misses inside for ball four. So that is the second walk of the inning here for Jack Johnson. So Jack Johnson a little bit wild here in the sixth inning as the catcher Dylan Lowenstein comes out to meet him and try to settle him down a bit. Last thing you want if you're the Pirates in this situation is you just take a two-run lead, and the last thing you want is to potentially give it up here. Of course, there's already two outs, so you just got to make a force out anywhere. You have a runner on first and second, so you can step on a base anywhere. Here's a left-handed hitter, Trip Averse. Averse is 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking high and away. Fastball, ball one. 1-0 count. Have a helicopter flying overhead. Not sure if you can hear it at home. Here's the pitch. Snap throw down to first. Oh. Alvarez was not covering the bag, and the throw might have been in time, but Alvarez couldn't get there in time. Actually, Andrew doing a great job to just catch it as the throw was not sure. If Alvarez was kind of just holding him on at first, it might have looked better, but Alvarez kind of having to make a backhanded grab on that one. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. That's something that we see Christian Kelly do a lot, the other catcher for the Pirates. Seems like he always has the opportunity and the chance to just throw the ball wherever he wants. And he is one of the best that you'll see out here doing that. Dylan Lowenstein also great, though, as well. Here's a pitch. Called strike two. Fastball that was high in the zone. And the hitter, Averts, didn't want to offer at that one. Meanwhile, Jack Johnson hoping to get out of the inning unscathed. With his second strikeout, this is a slider that misses inside for a ball. That's a pitch you see a lot for, or a lot out of left-handed pitchers especially. You always see them going with the slider, and this is another full count here. And there's been a lot of full counts already. Runners are off, swung on and missed, strike three. So that'll be the second strikeout of the inning for Jack Johnson, and he gets out of the mini jam with two runners on and two outs here in the top of the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 3-1 game. Pirates on top of the Halos. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 3-1 ball game. Pirates on top. It'll be 10-1-2 in the lineup. That's Channing Varela, Greg Espinosa, and Fernando Escobar. So Espinosa remaining in to hit here for the Pirates. Varela, of course, starting the game as an extra hitter and then coming in at shortstop in the last inning. Here's the pitch. Lined in the right field for a base hit by Channing Varela. And so that'll be his first base hit of the game. But Varela is another guy that we mentioned has been very hot as of late for the Pirates and really just lining up the first pitch he sees in the right field. And so now we're at the top of the lineup, and Greg Espinosa. Espinosa is 2 for 2 on the day. A run scored, a stolen base. He scored on the RBI groundout by his teammate, Andrew Alvarez. His teammate obviously on the Pirates, but also at Orange Coast College, and teammate to be at Houston Baptist, as this one misses low and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Greg. Of course, Greg is one of 17 returning Pirates. Here's the pitch, and this one's lined up the middle. Nice glove catch by the shortstop, who steps on second and fires to first for the 6-3 double play. So Kasser doing a good job there to get that double play. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning as Fernando Escobar approaches home plate. Fernando Escobar, we mentioned, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on this team, takes strike 1 at the knees, 0-1 the count. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out to second base and a fly out to second base. Of course, making a really great play in the last half inning in the field. Ooh, nice breaking ball in there, called strike 2, and it's 0-2 to Escobar. Escobar, hometown is Corona, went to Corona High School in the Inland Empire. 0-2 fastball is high and away for ball 1, 1-2 the count. He's an all-league performer out there in Corona and player of the year defensively twice, which we were talking about his defensive prowess in the last inning. Swings at this one and punches it in the right field for a base hit, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do on that type of pitch. You just take it to the opposite field. You don't try to do too much with it and lift it out in the right field for a base hit. And so Escobar reaches on a single as Andrew Alvarez now steps up for his 3rd at-bat of the day. Alvarez 0 for 2 with an RBI. Mentioned the RBI was on a ground out that scored Greg Espinosa. And at that point, it was 1-0 at the end of the 1st inning for the Pirates. Meanwhile, the Halos, they tied it up in the top of the 4th inning and made it 1-1. And then back in the bottom of the 5th, the Pirates getting 2 more in the form of a majestic fly ball out of left field off the bat of Anthony Virgin. First pitch to Alvarez is called to strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Andrew. We were talking about it a bit in his last at-bat, but we didn't get to mention it enough, as this one is swung on and lifted into center field. Coming in now is the center fielder, and he'll make the catch. That is Lewis out there for the final out, but just to kind of tell the story that we didn't get to tell the last at-bat, Andrew Alvarez was the SCCBL pitcher of the month. Also, I thought that really he could have been the SCCBL player of the month and overall. I mean, when you look at not only what he was doing pitching-wise, but especially what he was doing hitting-wise as well. I mean, you look at the batting average, and for the first half of this season, in that first month of June, it was well over 400. It was a 431 batting clip, so I just thought he should have been the player of the month overall. But he flies out here, so that'll do it for the 6th inning. And at the end of 6, the score remains 3-1. Pirates are leading the Halos. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. 3-1 the score. Pirates leading the Halos. Here comes Parker Manahan. Parker Manahan, the only man to score today for the Halos, reached on an error and then stole second base on what was a very interesting play, to say the least. First pitch is a fastball called strike 1, 0-1 the count. The reason it was weird was because he stayed up on his feet, and somehow got to second base after the throw beat him by a long way, which is why he stayed on his feet. Foul ball behind home plate, 0-2 the count. But then he ended up scoring on the RBI double by DJ Lewis, which was lined in left center. And that one was really cranked by the number 2 hitter in the lineup for the Halos. This one misses high for ball 1. 1-2 the count. So Parker Manahan is 0 for 1, but as we mentioned, he did reach on that error and scored the only run for the Halos. 1-2, low for ball 2. 2-2 the count. So Manahan, the last hitter in the lineup, and then back to the top of the lineup in Kasser, Lewis, and Grimes. Here's the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Another full count pitch for Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson has seen, this is at least the 4th full count pitch. Payoff pitch misses inside for ball 4. And so once again, Parker Manahan reaching base, once again turning it over to the top of the lineup and hoping that perhaps this could be a big inning for the Halos. Meanwhile, Charlie Reynoso calling for time and is now headed out to the pitcher's mound to talk to Jack Johnson, and that'll do it for Jack. Jack is now done for the day as he will walk back to the first base dugout, and in comes Conlon McKenzie. So we will step away for a few moments as Conlon McKenzie warms up here at the top of the 7th inning in a 3-1 game. Pirates leading. So in comes Conlon McKenzie to relieve Jack Johnson. Conlon McKenzie, 6'2", 240, right-handed pitcher from Citrus College, where he will be a sophomore next season. Hasn't pitched that much this year for the Pirates. Comes set out of the stretch. He's inheriting a runner at first who was walked. First pitch is fouled back off the protective gear of the catcher Lowenstein. It was a bunt attempt for the leadoff hitter Kyle Kasser. Kasser's 1 for 2, singled in the first and struck out looking in the 4th. There are no outs here in the top of the 7th inning, and on base is Parker Manahan, who we just mentioned drew that walk on a full count. And we also mentioned it was at least the 4th full count that Jack Johnson had. And on 3 of those full counts, he walked the hitter. The other one he had a strikeout on. Here's the pitch. In at the knees. Ooh, thought that would be called the strike, but it's not called the strike. So must have just missed a bit low for a ball. Conlon McKenzie is from Walnut. Went to Walnut High School, not too far from here at Cal Poly Pomona. Slow breaking pitch, high and away for a ball. Worked a lot of innings in relief for Citrus College this past season. 25 2/3, all in relief. 31 strikeouts. So another guy that's a strikeout type of pitcher for the Pirates. Fastball paints the outside corner, called strike. Well, obviously in this scenario, you're hoping for a ground ball to potentially get a double play for Conlon McKenzie. McKenzie comes set, fires, fastball swung, and lifted into shallow left field, and that will get down for a base hit. That is the second runner. The throw comes in the second as the runner Manahan overshot the base, was going very hard, looking like he might even head to third. But he put the brakes on really quickly and slid back head first safely at second. So now the first 2 men have reached base in this inning for the Halos. It's Kasser at first base with the single, and Parker Manahan at second base after being walked and then advancing 90 feet on that hit to left field. Here comes DJ Lewis. DJ Lewis 1 for 2, but had the RBI double in the left center field. If he could do that again, that would be a very, very big moment for the Halos. He tries to bunt, but bunts it foul down the third base line, and it's 0-1. Well, this is a key situation right here for Conlon McKenzie because It's a 3-1 game, only a 2-run lead for the Pirates, but no outs, top of the 7th inning, 2 men on base. Conlon McKenzie, once again, coming set in the stretch. Once again, Lewis showing bunt early, and he will not offer at this one as this pitch misses low and bounces in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Well, the first thing that you want to do as a pitcher, when a hitter shows bunt, you want to throw a strike. That's their first goal, because if the team is giving up and out, you obviously want to take it. What happens after then? That's, do you go to first base or do you go to third or second, depending on how the guy bunts it? Then that's, something different. But obviously when they want to sacrifice and give up and out, that's the first thing. You take that out. Once again, squaring around very early is Lewis. And this one he will get down straight back at the pitcher, McKenzie. McKenzie's going to have to sidearm it over to first. Alvarez throwing down to third, but not in time to get off the runner out there. So that'll be the first out, but the sacrifice works to perfection here. For the Halos, as now they have 2 men in scoring position and trailing only by 2 runs. So if you get a hit out to the outfield by Nick Grimes, your number 3 hitter in the lineup, or Jake Palchion, who's due up next, it's a tied game. Lowenstein running out to the mound to talk to Conlon McKenzie. Meanwhile, the hitter Nick Grimes will head down the third base line to talk to his coach. It was the Pirates who took the 1-0 lead back in the first inning, and then the Halos knotting it up at 1 apiece in the fourth before the Pirates had the 2-run home run in the 5th inning and took a 3-1 lead, and out comes Charlie Reynoso again. Let's see if this is to take out Conlon McKenzie or just to give him some advice. It looks like it's the latter, as Charlie is just going to talk to him and try to settle him down a bit and try to come up with a plan for exactly what they want to do in this situation. With 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out, top of the 7th inning, 2-run lead is what you're clinging to as the Pirates now head, as Charlie Reynoso now heads to the dugout. Looks like Cody Arat might have been getting loose in the bullpen, as he's now walking in the third base dugout. Meanwhile, there's also Jordan Sheffs out there who is starting to get loosened up and warmed up a little bit, doing arm stretching. Fastball swung and fouled to the right side. Andrew Alvarez looks like he might be able to make a play on it. He makes an underhanded grab. Now he's going to have to throw to home plate, and he's got the runner nailed. What a throw by Andrew Alvarez, who made the catch, a basket grab right in front of the net. And they tried to score on the play, did the Halos. And Alvarez said, not so fast, and fired an absolute rocket into home plate and Dylan Lowenstein. And once again, the runner just staying up on his feet. He couldn't do anything about it. He was beat by that much. And so it was a little bit of a shaky situation right there for the Pirates, as there were 2 men in scoring position and only 1 out. But on one swing, you hit a fly ball in foul territory right near the net out there. Andrew Alvarez, as we mentioned, makes the basket catch, throws home, and the runner trying to score on a sac fly is doubled up to finish this inning. So it's now time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona in a 3-1 ball game. Pirates leading. And welcome back. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. First pitch called a strike on the outside corner to Bryce Cherry. 0-1 the count. There's a new pitcher. That is Troy Hudson for the Halos. Working out of the stretch, even though there's nobody on base. This one misses high and in for ball to Cherry. Bryce is 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to third base in the first inning and struck out in the 5th inning. Slow breaking pitch called a strike. Tough pitch right there for Cherry. And that's not the type of pitch that you want to swing at if you're a hitter. But it was a strike. Really a nasty pitch. This one misses high for a ball. On deck is Nolan Henley. So Henley get his first at-bat of the day. Meanwhile, Bernardi is in the hole. Fastball swung and fouled out of play behind third base. So it's 2-2 here to Bryce Cherry. Here's the 2-2 offering. Another slow off-speed pitch. This one just missing high and away for ball 3. Full count. Well, we've seen a lot of full counts in the last couple of innings, especially with Jack Johnson. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ground to the right side and foul out down that first base line. So we'll do it again. Another full count pitch to come here to Bryce Cherry, who is set to see his 7th pitch in the at-bat. Hudson comes set and fires. This one is lined to the right side and into right field for a base hit by Bryce Cherry. And so the leadoff man is on base here in the 7th inning for the Pirates. As Bryce Cherry, he's another guy that's been swinging a very hot bat for the Pirates as of late. Here comes Nolan Henley. Mentioned in a previous inning that Nolan Henley had come in center field to replace Nathan Virgin defensively. And so now this will be his first at-bat of the game. Henley squaring around early and will try to lay one down, and he lays it down, but it's just foul as it spun. It landed in fair territory, but spun foul, and so it's now 0-1 here. Obviously, in this situation, you get your leadoff man on base. This definitely calls for a situation where you would sacrifice here for Nolan Henley, get the runner into scoring position, and try to extend that lead and get an insurance run and make it a 3-run game as opposed to 2. 3-1 is the score. Pirates leading the Halos. Of course, the Pirates scoring back in the first inning on the RBI ground out by Alvarez that scored Espinosa. And the Halos getting one back on an RBI double in the 4th. Tie it up. This pitch misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Then in the 5th inning, Anthony Virgin blasting a home run out to the left field fence, scoring his brother Nathan as well, and that's where we stand. 3-1 the score here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Squaring around and now driving one out in the left field is Nolan Henley, and the left fielder started in and now gets over his head. Henley is digging into second. Meanwhile, rounding third and coming home to score is Bryce Cherry, and it's an RBI double for Nolan Henley. And it's 4-1. As the situation you were saying you thought maybe called for a sacrifice bunt, and squaring around on the play was Henley. I mean, he was squaring around early, and then he brings the bat back and just lines one into left field. And obviously, Hazard struggling a bit seeing the ball, but it still flew over his head, and that is a double for Henley. And Henley he really shows power for a guy his size. He can really hit the ball hard and is now standing on second base with that RBI. And here comes Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi's 0 for 2, lined out to the first baseman and grounded out to the shortstop. Like again, here's a pitch. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Bernardi. But when you're talking about Nolan Henley, going back to that last double that he had, 5'11", he's not the largest in stature, but he does come up big with the bat. As this one misses low and inside for a ball. Jacob Bernardi is from Temecula, went to Chaparral High School. Checking the runner at second and now firing his Hudson, and this one misses low for a ball. At Chaparral High School, he was the All-League performer twice, team MVP, and 2-time honor roll selection. Here's a pitch, and this one's lined straight back from where it came from, up the middle. Rounding third and now being held up at the last second is Nolan Henley as the play comes into the plate, and Bernardi will take second base on the throw to home plate. So that'll be a single, and then obviously reaching second on the throw. Meanwhile, Henley had to pause for a bit when he was at second base because he wasn't sure if somebody might have been able to make the catch in the infield. And so he kind of froze for a second and then headed to third. And he looked like he still wanted to try to run home on that play. But Charlie Reynoso, the manager, holding him up at the last second and putting on the brakes. And he really did put on the brakes, did number 3, as the Pirates now have runners in scoring position. 2 of them, Bernardi at second and Henley at third for Johnny Reynoso. So Johnny Reynoso, getting his first at-bat of the day, actually joined me for color commentary in the first 4 innings, if you were listening then. Did a very good job as the infield has come in for the play at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. 0-1 the count here to Johnny Reynoso, headed to West Texas A&M next season, where he'll be a junior. 5'11", 185-pound left-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher for the Halos. So, of course, this was the spot in the lineup that Anthony Virgin was in and hit the 2-run homer back in the 5th inning. Johnny Reynoso takes one high for ball 1-1 on the count. Reynoso hoping that he could come up with a 2 RBI hit himself. Get one into the outfield. Very well may be the case with guys like Henley and Bernardi on base, 2 speedy runners. Here's the 1-1, and this one's called a strike on the outside corner, low and away. 1-2 the count. Lowenstein on deck, Padlo in the hole for the Pirates. Here's the 1-2. It's a hanging breaking pitch. It looked like it was out of the zone, but Reynoso protecting the plate and fouling it off down the third base line and out of play. So we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come for Johnny. Here's the 1-2 from Hudson. Another hanging breaking ball. This one hit to the right side. Nice backhanded grab by the first baseman. And he will step on the bag for the unassisted putout there of Johnny Reynoso. So bringing the infield in paid off there for the Halos, as Henley was not trying to score on a nice backhanded grab by the first baseman, Aversa, over there. Aversa first checking to see if Henley would be coming home, and then realizing that he was going to have to run over to first himself and make the play, and did so to retire Johnny Reynoso. So that is the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 run already in, making it 4-1 Pirates. That was Bryce Cherry who scored on the RBI double by Nolan Henley, as this pitch misses low for ball 1 to Dylan Lowenstein. Lowenstein's 0 for 2. Flew out to right field in the 3rd and reached on an error by the 3rd baseman in the 5th. Fastball swung and fouled back. 1-1 the count. Well, still a situation for the Pirates that you have 2 men in scoring position. The infield in, so there's a lot of holes out there for Lowenstein. He cracks this one foul down the left field line. So that'll be just a long strike, and strike 2 for Dylan. Dylan playing for Mount Sac, where he'll be a sophomore next year. That is Mount San Antonio College. Time call for at home plate, as the pitcher Hodson is starting to take his time, as really you should in this scenario. On the bottom of the 7th in a 3-run game and 2 men in scoring position, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Towering fly ball. It's definitely foul, but will it be playable for the 3rd baseman? He's charging. He's in hot pursuit, and it gets out of play down that 3rd base line, as everybody was trying to come in on that, including the left fielder and the shortstop for the Halos. Once again, Dylan Lowenstein going to have to protect the plate here with a 2-strike count. And he lines this one down the left field line and foul once again. And this one was the second ball that he hit foul down that left field line that he hit very hard. But, of course, doesn't matter if it's foul. You got to straighten it out a bit. But this one was getting closer. 3 foul balls now down the left field line. And this one at bat for Lowenstein. As Dylan hopes to really, I mean, if he can just hit a fly ball out there, score a run, increase the lead to 4, that would be getting his job done. Now it takes one low. We talk about it a lot, and a lot of catchers have such a great understanding of the strike zone, and most of them are, you look at it, and they're plate disciplined as well. And that's clearly the case with Lowenstein in that last pitch, and definitely the case with Christian Kelly when you see him bat for the Pirates. This one's into the dirt, and that'll get by the catcher. That's a wild pitch. Nolan Henley comes in to score, and it's 5-1 Pirates. So the Pirates now getting their second run in the inning. This one coming in on a wild pitch as Nolan Henley hustles home and scores. Still another runner in scoring position, though, here for Lowenstein to maybe take advantage of and potentially cash in another RBI or cash in another run, which would be huge for the Pirates, just in the sense that when you extend the lead to 5 runs, there's not any one swing that could tie the game up for you ever. So obviously you can only have 3 men on base and 1 at the plate at any given time. So most you can score is 4 runs. So that's why coaches always feel comfortable, super comfortable, when they get that 5-run lead, if they do in fact get it. 5-1 the score. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 out. Pirates leading the Halos. Dylan Lowenstein in what has been a very long at bat. This one is fouled back. That is the 4th pitch that Lowenstein has fouled since falling behind on a 2-strike count. For Dylan, as we mentioned, he was struggling a bit with the bat. You really hope that he comes through in this at bat right here. And this is a towering fly ball hit out into shallow left field. It's foul, but will it be playable? It is playable. Catch is made by the third baseman in foul territory. And so Lowenstein is retired. The throw comes in the home plate, and Bernardi will not be able to tag up. So that's the second out of the inning here for the Pirates. So that's tough right there for Dylan Lowenstein, who was really having an epic at-bat right there. Here comes Jason Padlo. Padlo 0 for 2. Flew out to left field in the 3rd inning and struck out in the 5th inning. Takes strike 1 at the knees, 0-1 the count to Jason. Jason, of course, from Cal Poly Pomona. Hitting .259 this season, .375 on-base percentage. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch called strike 2, 0-2 the count. Jason's from Murrieta. Went to Murrieta Valley High School, where he was a 2-time All-League selection and a Defensive Player of the Year at the high school level. Swings at the 0-2 and lifts it a mile high into shallow center field. Coming in and making the catch out there is the center fielder Lewis for the final out of the inning. But the Pirates get 2 more here in the bottom of the 7th. It was Bryce Cherry who singled and scored on an RBI double by Nolan Henley, and then Nolan Henley scoring on a wild pitch, and the score is now 5-1. The Pirates leading the Halos as we head to the top of the 8th inning. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 5-1 the score. Pirates leading the Halos. New pitcher is Cody Arott. Fires lone inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count for Cody. Cody hasn't pitched that much this summer with the Pirates. Called strike in the outside corner, 1-1 the count. He's a guy that, like Kevin Glom, actually works during the week. So they can only come on weekend games. Here's a pitch, and this one's bounced a 2-chopper. Now it's going to be a 3-chopper over to Greg Espinosa, and he couldn't field it cleanly. As the leadoff man is on base here in the form of Jake Palchion for the Halos. Cody Arott on the season. 10 2/3 innings pitched, 2-0 record. 11 strikeouts in those 10 2/3 innings. And has a 0.84 ERA, also a 0.47 whip. So he's been very, very tough for hitters to hit. And the few innings he's pitched so far, this one's alone inside for a ball in the dirt, and Lowenstein blocks it and ensures that the runner doesn't advance 90 feet in the scoring position. So it's 1-0 here to Cody Powers. Powers is 0 for 2, flew out to left field in the second inning and flew out to center field in the fifth inning. Cody Rott, 6'3", 215, southpaw, swung and fouled, out of play. Goes to Linfield in Oregon. They won the D3 National Championship 2 seasons ago. This past season, once again, going to the World Series at the D3 level. This one's low and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. So Cody Rott, who is going to be a junior next season, has never experienced what it's like to not make the D3 World Series. This one misses outside, ball 3. He said even though this year they fell in 2 games at the World Series in D3, he really liked this season more on a personal level, as this will be a 5-pitch walk drawn here for the Halos, and now there's 2 men on base. And the reason obviously he was saying that he loved the fact that he won a national championship as a freshman, but he wasn't really as much a part of that team as he was this year as a sophomore, and still the team ends up going to the World Series. So that's why he was thrilled and really liked going that deep this season. Of course, his head coach or manager out there is Scott Brocious, former player in Major League Baseball with the Yankees, among other teams. Squaring around and laying one down in a sacrifice situation is the hitter Hoppy, and Hoppy is just beaten out at first base by Rott, who did a great job to get there and make the throw. But the sacrifice bunt is laid down to perfection for the Halos, who have now advanced 2 men into scoring position. Moving up to third base is Palchion, and moving up to second base is Powers. So the Halos hoping to chip away at that 4-run deficit with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning, and Mondesi Gutierrez at the plate. Gutierrez is 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning and walked in the 6th inning. First pitch he sees is swung and fouled out of play down the first base line, and it's 0-1 to him. This is number 32 versus number 32 for the Pirates and Halos. Of course, the Halos, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, also wearing red just like the Pirates. So a lot of red out there. Here's the 0-1. Misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Cody Rott is from Yucaipa. Went to Yucaipa High School before heading to Linfield. There he was a first-team Citrus Belt League selection. Time called for at home plate by the hitter, who will now step out of the box. That is Gutierrez. Last season also kind of limited innings for the Pirates. Only 10 1/3 last year for Cody Rott. As this is called strike 2. But in those 10 1/3 innings, he struck out 8 and had a 1.74 ERA, so it's a bit of the same this year. Obviously this year already pitching more than the 10 1/3. He's in a little bit of a jam here, though, with 2 runners in scoring position, as this one swung on and missed for strike 3, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. And the jam is the fact that he had 2 runners on in 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, but now, of course, 2 outs after the strikeout. And up comes Corey Gallegos. Gallegos is 0 for 2. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 3rd inning and struck out looking in the 6th. First pitch to him is low inside for ball. 1-0 the count. Well, we mentioned there were a lot of pitchers at the top of the broadcast here today for the Pirates, and we've seen pretty much all of them here in this game. 2-0 the count now. We saw Kevin Glom start and go 3 innings and look very strong, retiring the final 7 hitters he faced. Also struck out 2 in those 3 innings. And then Ryan Romero giving up 1 unearned run in 2 innings. The runner who scored reached on an error. This is a ground ball up the middle over towards Greg Espinosa. He fields cleanly and fires to first. The throw takes Alvarez off the base, but Alvarez makes the catch and makes the tag down the first base line. So the Pirates, once again, putting up a 0 on the board for the 7th time out of 8 innings. As that one looked a little bit scary with the runner on third base coming home and the throw down the first base line, but obviously Alvarez, a great fielding first baseman and pretty much great at everything he does, makes the catch, jumping, and then kind of backhands the tag to record the out and tag out Gallegos. And so we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-1 the score. Pirates leading Halos. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Cal Poly Pomona. 5-1 the score. Channing Varela set to lead things off here in the 8th inning. And then we'll go back to the top of the lineup, and Greg Espinosa, Fernando Escobar, and Andrew Alvarez should anybody reach base. First pitch is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Channing Varela, the 5'9", 170-pound right-handed hitter from Riverside City College. Here's the 1-0, swung and lifted into right field. And that should be a routine play out there for Siegel. And it is, as he makes the catch for the first out here in the 8th inning. Here comes Greg Espinosa with a 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. His team leading by 4, which is also his number. 5-1 the score to be exact. Espinosa is 2 for 3. Scored back in the first inning on an RBI by Alvarez. Takes strike 1 on the inside corner, 0-1 the count to Greg. Also stole second base. As we get a little bit of a wind gust. This is lined in the left field for a base hit, and that is his 3rd hit of the day for Greg Espinosa. So Greg now 3 for 4 as Fernando Escobar steps up to the plate. Escobar is 1 for 3. Grounded out to the second baseman in the first, flew out to the second baseman in the 4th, and then had the single back in the 6th inning. As we mentioned, Escobar, one of the few switch hitters. In fact, I think he might be the only switch hitter on this team. Oh, that was supposed to be a hit and run, and the throw, Escobar couldn't make contact with it because it was way out of the zone, way high and away. And he still swung at it to try to protect Espinosa. And Espinosa was kind of caught off in no man's land once again. And the throw from the catcher came down the first base line, and it was wild. So it'll be a throwing error on the catcher that allows Espinosa to get into second base. And if you do recall, actually, last time Espinosa was on base in the 4th inning, the same thing happened. Only Bryce Cherry was at the plate. And Espinosa on a hit and run was left out to, basically he was thrown out because he was checking back to see if the ball was hit, and Cherry never could have swung the bat. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball to Escobar. So you're trying a hit and a run, and you end up getting the runner over to second base without actually even making contact for it. It was just really impressive that Escobar even tried to protect the runner. And this is called strike, so that'll be the 2nd strike to Escobar. Fernando coming in today was hitting .300. So after posting a 1 for 3 day, that average has increased. This fastball outside, nowhere near the zone for a ball. Pirates hoping to, well, first of all, hoping this is their last at-bat, but secondly, hoping to take advantage of this last at-bat of the game with the top of the lineup and a runner in scoring position. That's Greg Espinosa, who singled to the left field and reached on an error by the catcher. Fly ball to right field, and the shallow right field, charging in as a right fielder, but actually at the last moment, the second baseman, Powers, will make the grab. So that is the second out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Actually, every single time Escobar has been out in the inning, it's been to the second baseman. A couple flyouts to second base and one ground out to second. Here's Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez 0 for 3. Did have the RBI ground out, though, in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch on the inside. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count. Well, Alvarez obviously started out on fire with the bat. But over the last week or so, he's been struggling a little bit. Here's the pitch. This one's lined right back up the middle. And rounding third base and coming home to score is Greg Espinosa. So that'll be the second RBI of the game for Alvarez, and it's now 6-1 Pirates. So that's the second time that Alvarez hit in Greg Espinosa. But this time it was a no-doubt line drive up the middle that literally got to center field in less than a second. It was hit that hard. And right when you say that Alvarez was maybe struggling a little bit with the bat, he says not so fast and sends one up the middle for an RBI base hit. Here's Bryce Cherry. Cherry is 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the 7th inning. Takes high and away. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Also struck out in the 5th and flew out to third base in the 1st inning. Well, this was a 1-1 game for a long time. Called a strike, and it's now 1-2 to Cherry. It was a 1-1 game at the end of 4 and then heading into the bottom of the 5th. But then Anthony Virgin hit the home run. 2-run homer. Made it 3-1. Swung on and missed by Cherry. Alvarez stealing second base on the play. So that might have been another hit and run attempt maybe. Because Alvarez was off the pitch, and you don't typically see Alvarez trying to steal bags. And Cherry swung at the pitch. But the Pirates do get 2 runs in that 5th inning and make it 3-1. And they get 2 more in the 7th and make it 5-1. And now 1 more here in this inning, and it's 6-1. This one misses away for a ball to Cherry. 2 runs scoring in the 7th inning. First one was scored on an RBI double by Nolan Henley, and then he scored on a wild pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Bryce Cherry definitely didn't like that call, and I don't think anybody in the dugout liked it as well, as it looked like it was definitely high and in. But Cherry will remove his helmet and head back to the dugout unhappy as he is called out on strikes. But the Pirates once again score another run here in the 8th and extend their lead to 6-1 as we head to the final inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. 6-1 the score. Pirates leading the Halos as we head to the top of the 9th inning. There is a new pitcher, and that is Jordan Sheffs, the right-handed pitcher from UC Irvine, where he will be a sophomore next season. 6'2", 185 pounds. Here is Jake Hazard for the Halos. He's 0 for 2. Swings at the first pitch he sees is a roller over towards the shortstop, Espinosa. Espinosa throwing to first, and they got him. Wow. That was actually Varela, my bad. Varela came in for Espinosa earlier in the game. So that was Channing Varela who was charging and throwing over to first base. And Aaron Reynoso is actually at first base. And Aaron Reynoso making the nice stretch over there at first base. Kind of smiling and laughing over in the dugout. So first man down here in the 9th inning. Breaking pitch called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Dallas Siegel. Siegel's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the second baseman in the 3rd and walked in the 6th inning. This one gets by the catcher Lowenstein. This season, Jordan Sheffs, 21 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 1.25 ERA. Fastball misses low for a ball. Also a 1.25 whip. And is 1-0 with a couple saves. This is a non-save situation, being a 6-1 game. Line drive straight back up the middle, and that'll be a base hit for Siegel. So Siegel reaching base for the second time in as many plate appearances. And here comes Trip Averse. Averse is 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Struck out to Ryan Romero in the 4th inning and was struck out by Colin McKenzie in the 6th inning. Pirates have had a lot of pitchers in this game as this one misses outside for ball 1-0 the count. It was Kevin Glom who went 3 innings and did a very good job, as we mentioned, 7 retired to finish those 3 innings. Also had a couple strikeouts, swung on and missed for a strike there. Then Ryan Romero coming in for 2 innings. Jack Johnson an inning. Colin McKenzie an inning. Cody Arott an inning. And here's Jordan Sheffs to shut the door for the Pirates. High and away for a ball. Of course, Jordan Sheffs from University High School, where he was the MVP of his league, and this one swung on a miss, strike 2. He's an all-CIF performer 3 years and wound up being maybe the best pitcher in the history of University High School because he holds school records for strikeouts, innings, and wins. Fouled off the edge of the bat. So it'll be another 2-strike count to come here for Averse going against Jordan Sheffs. Sheffs takes a deep breath and now comes set. Working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Ball low and inside. Another 2-strike pitch, and this one is a slow roller once again to Channing Varela. And Varela, once again, making a nice throw to first base, charging and throwing sidearm over to Aaron Reynoso. So that's the second out here in the inning, as now the Pirates are down to the final out of the game and just 1 out away from clinching their 23rd victory of the season. Here is Parker Manahan. Manahan's reached base both times. He's been up, called strike on 1 count. Scored the only run of the game for the Halos. Reached on an error and wound up scoring on an RBI double by DJ Lewis, and also reached on a walk back in the 7th. Swings and misses at this one, and it's 0-2. Jordan Sheffs, we were talking about this before the game, but he's somebody that has really started to pick it up over the past few outings he's had. Really looked a whole lot better than the first outings as this one gets by the catcher. Not to say that his first outings weren't as good, but just to say that it's been noticeable how well he's pitched in the last couple outings specifically, especially against the Legends when he went the 4 innings and just shut them down. Of course, the Legends at the time were the #1 team in the OCCL. Breaking pitch called, strike 3 on the inside corner, and the hitter knew it, and that'll do it for this game. Another win for the Pirates, their 23rd of the season. They improved to 23-5 as Jordan Sheffs will shake the home plate umpire's hand. Maybe that he's familiar with him, but that will do it here. So it was 1 run in the first inning that was scored for the Pirates, and that run came in on an RBI groundout by Alvarez, scoring Greg Espinosa. The reason I paused for a second is it looks like we're still playing. Well, I guess it is the bottom of the 9th, but when you're ahead 6-1 in the bottom of the 9th, normally you don't play. Yeah, I'm assuming that the Pirates just wanted an at-bat here, another extra at-bat, and I guess the Halos were willing to agree to it. So that's, I guess, really nice of them to agree to allow the Pirates to get one more at-bat here. But I guess we're going to have to do our game recap after this half inning. We're not exactly sure, though, yet, but I would assume that they're just going to finish this inning out and give the Pirates one last at-bat here. So Nolan Henley is coming up to hit, and then it'll be Bernardi and Reynoso. So very nice for the Halos to agree to do that. Very cool by them. Maybe they also wanted to have their pitcher get an extra inning of work. Well, we'll head to the bottom of the ninth inning. 6-1 the score. Pirates on top. Pirates getting one more at bat here. Here's Nolan Henley. Ground ball, left side foul. Over towards Charlie Reynoso, the manager. Nolan Henley is 1 for 1. Had the RBI double to left field and scored on a wild pitch in his only plate appearance back in the 7th inning. Henley from the University of Laverne. Swings at this one. It's a two-chopper over to the third baseman, Grimes. Grimes throwing across the diamond and makes the play for the first out. So I guess we're getting some free baseball of sorts, or extra baseball at that, as it appears that this probably will be the last half inning, but I'm not too sure. Make a lot of sense if it was. Here's Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi 1 for 3. Takes ball 1 another count. Lined out to the first baseman in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th, and singled in the 7th. Here's the pitch. This one is grounded foul, and it's 1-1. Well, I think that really, if you look at it, and first of all, we talk about the fact that it was nice of the Halos to agree to doing one more inning, but really, if you look at it, if you're Charlie Reynoso, I think the reason he's doing this is because he wanted Nolan Henley and Johnny Reynoso to get a couple at bats in this game, and each of them only had one. Otherwise, everybody else had a couple. So they'll get 2 at bats, and that's typically what you see in a lot of the games that the Pirates play. Pretty much everybody gets 2 at bats. Ooh, this one hits the hitter, Bernardi, in the back. So Bernardi reaches on the hit by pitch, and here comes Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso's 0 for 1 and grounded out to the first baseman. Actually, it was in a situation where there was runners on second and third, no outs, and the infield was in. And Reynoso hit it pretty hard, and the first baseman over there, Aversa, made a nice backhanded grab and stopped the baseball and made sure that the run didn't come in and score, and then also ended up stepping on the bag to retire Reynoso. As we mentioned, Johnny 0 for 1. He came in and replaced Anthony Version, as his first pitch is a fastball upstairs, ball 1 another count. And Anthony Version, probably the most, not probably, definitely the most noteworthy hit of the day. It was a 2-run home run out of left field. Line drive to right field, just foul by Reynoso. We talked a lot about there being players that either currently play on Citrus College for both the Pirates and the Buccaneers, or formerly played for Citrus, and this is one who played for Citrus College these past couple years. I mentioned he's now headed to West Texas A&M. This one swung and fell back at the screen by Reynoso. But this past season at Citrus College had a very, very good season. First team all-conference selection, .310 batting average for number 5, Johnny Reynoso. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled back again. A lot of the hitters on the Pirates always talk about not getting cheated, and you get an extra at bat here, and obviously none of them want to get cheated here and want to potentially add even more runs on the board for the Pirates. Line drive right side and through that right hole, and that'll be a base hit for Reynoso. And Reynoso continues his hot bat, as there's now 2 men on base for the Pirates with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Coming into the game, Reynoso is batting .360. Now improves that with a 1 for 2 day. Here's Dylan Lowenstein. Lowenstein 0 for 3. Did reach on an error in the 5th inning. Had that epic at-bat in his last plate appearance back in the 7th inning, where he fouled off a number of balls down the left field line. First pitch is in there for strike 1, 0-1 the count. And then he ended up flying out to the left fielder, but it was once again in foul territory. But he really lined a few of them out there in left field, but they were just foul, as I mentioned. This one swung on and fouled out a play down the right field line, and it's now 0-2, so Lowenstein falls behind here. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the next game for the Pirates is not until Wednesday. It'll be a 5 o'clock game, live on our air. High pitch for a ball against the San Diego Force. Two teams splitting earlier in the season. That was way at the beginning of the year. That was maybe the second Saturday of the season. Very competitive games, though, but the first game was only a one-hitter, as this one is grounded foul. That was the game that the Pirates won. In that one-hitter was Koval and Arat. Only gave up one hit that entire game, and that's a team that's 27-6 right now. So they were a very good team, and they actually went to the Collegiate World Series out in Kansas last year. Here's the pitch. Line drive to left field, deep left field. The left fielder making a nice catch. And so down goes Dylan Lowenstein. And Lowenstein, maybe he's just feeling a little bit better about himself that he hit the ball so hard in the left field as people are high-fiving him. But we talked about it. He's really been having a tough time at bat this season. Here's Jason Padlow with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. 6-1 the score. Pirates on top. Padlow's 0 for 3. Flew out to the outfield twice and struck out once. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1. 1-0 the count here for Jason Padlow. Padlow hoping to get his first hit here. 1-0 is in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count. He's a major in kinesiology at Cal Poly. His father, John, played minor league baseball in the Giants farm system, and his grandfather played in the Yankees farm system. And both are currently scouts for those two teams now. Bounces this one to the right side to Hopper over to the second baseman, who makes a jumping catch and now throws to first. Powers throwing to Aversa to retire Padlow. And that will do it for the 9th inning. And that should be the end of the game now, and it looks like it is. We got to pause for a second because Pirates do get that final at-bat in the 9th inning, as the Halos really being classy about it and really just agreeing to play that 9th inning even though they didn't need to. So the final score here is 6-1. Pirates defeat the Halos. Pirates scoring 1 run in the first inning. It was Greg Espinosa who singled and scored on an RBI ground out by Andrew Alvarez. Then in the 4th inning, there was an RBI double by T.J. Lewis by the Halos, tied at 1 apiece. And the 5th inning, Anthony Virgin with the bomb out of the left field fence for a 2-run homer that also scored his brother Nathan. Then in the 7th inning, 2 runs score. One is on an RBI double by Nolan Henley that scored Bryce Cherry. The other run scoring was Henley on a wild pitch. So at that point, it was 5-1. The Pirates tacking on 1 more in the 8th, as Greg Espinosa scored for a second time on an RBI single by Andrew Alvarez, who absolutely hit a laser rocket up the middle that took about half a second to get into center field. And so that's what the Pirates did offensively. Meanwhile, pitching-wise, a lot of guys involved. Kevin Glom went 3 innings, no runs. Retired the final 7 hitters he faced. Ryan Romero, 2 innings, I should say, 1 run, but it was unearned. Jack Johnson, 1 inning, no runs, couple strikeouts. Colin McKenzie came in for an inning. Then Cody Arat came in for an inning. And Jordan Sheffs came in for the final inning. So 6 pitchers pitching for the Pirates in this game. We also saw Aaron Reynoso in at first base, who was, I guess, the 7th pitcher today at this game. So all sorts of things happening in this game. Very good things for the most part for the Pirates, both pitching and hitting-wise. as they now improve to 23-5 on the season, still 10-4 in league play. Still anxiously awaiting to see what the results are for the next few games for the Power. They will take on the Heat tonight at 7 o'clock, and then they'll have a doubleheader in San Diego tomorrow at 2-5, and then another game against San Diego on Tuesday, and their final league game is on Wednesday against the Heat. So should the Power lose 2 of those games, Pirates will control their own destiny for first place and the number 1 seed in the tournament. Obviously still a lot of baseball to be played, but we will wait, as I said, anxiously to see exactly what happens there out in Palm Springs and San Diego. Of course, the final score in this game is 6-1. The Pirates win. Our next game is at 5 o'clock on Wednesday here at Cal Poly Pomona. It'll be against the San Diego Force. The next broadcast in general for Inland Valley Baseball will be a Buccaneers game against AOS Baseball on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And then there's a doubleheader next Friday against San Diego, 2-5, here at Cal Poly Pomona for the Pirates. And that'll be their final games of the season before the playoffs. Once again, Dave Silvera on the play-by-play. Thanks so much for joining us for this non-league matchup. The final score, 6-1, Pirates win. We'll see you next time.